What's up everybody, I'm quickly interrupting ahead of this video. Welcome to the channel of course, but quickly wanted to shout out the Signal group we have, which is a group in which I share all of my trades. For example, also this maker trade that we took over the course of this week. But we also, for example, bought Bitcoin at 101,000, which hopefully it's still trading higher at this point of time, but it went to 107,000. But I also released a new trading guide in which I fully explain one of the main strategies that I use to trade. So not only will you get profitable signals, you're also able to learn how to become a profitable trader yourself. So if you want to join, that sounds interesting, links will be down in the description. For now, enjoy the video. Bye. Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video right here on XRP. We're going to do a full update, full technical update here. Yesterday we spoke about some fundamentals that I thought were quite interesting, right? So if you missed the video I made yesterday, the main fundamentals we spoke about, and with Ripple, like there's fundamentally always something you can talk about, and hopefully very soon we also get some more information regarding, you know, how this Ripple SEC case is going to end. I'm sure they're very busy with that right now to find some sort of a way to settle that. And apologies for the construction sounds on the background. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I can hear it very well, so I assume that you can as well. But no, the main thing that we looked at regarding Ripple was RLUSD, which has grown a lot in the last month in market cap, so that's great news, but I don't think we need to spend too much time talking about that right now. And I'm also not certain, at least not on the short term, whether that's really going to affect the price much, right? But no, I mean, the price action we've had since this week opening has been pretty good. I mean, you take a look at XRP right here, the volume is not enough to break out, and the volume is also, at least at this point of time, not enough to really expect a rally. But we do have some fresh open interest, some fresh momentum coming in. We do have some fresh volume coming in as well. It's not as much as last week, but it's enough to at least expect some more stability, right? And unfortunately, and I know for some of you, that sounds like bad news, but honestly, with all the fundamentals going on right now in the world, and then obviously I'm talking about the situation between Iran and Israel, with all of that, you know, being quite unstable, XRP being stable, I would say, is good news, right? And on the higher time frames, I think we are closer to a buy rather than a sell, right? I mean, we're relatively close to a major support level right here between, well, if you want to stretch it up, 2.1 and 1.95. Look, if we get some major fundamental escalation, I do think we can drop down a little bit lower into that, because so far we've only dropped down into 2.08, right? So that's like, I completely get some sort of hate or at least criticism on XRP, but XRP is very resilient as well, right? I mean, if there's bad news, if there's a downturn, XRP also tends to be relatively strong in holding initial support levels, right? So at this point of time, if we're just if we're just going off of the technicals, I would say XRP is actually quite strong, and I would say that at some point of time soon, not only talking about the technicals, but also looking at the chart of XRP against Bitcoin, for example, I do think we can rally soon. It's just not necessarily today, right? Because the open interest, yes, it's going up, but it's still relatively low. And it's uncomparable to what we had, for example, last week, or what we had Thursday at the beginning of May. So it's not comparable to that, and the volume is also much lower. But it is a good sign of stability. The general financial markets over the course of this morning are also doing quite well. Bitcoin is doing quite well, but ultimately it is a Monday morning. A lot of coins have left imbalances to the downside, including XRP. So even though this is a good sign that this support level is going to hold, I would say over the course of today that first of all, we are still very dependent on the fundamentals. So try to keep your eyes on some news wherever you can. And second of all, that I would say it's most likely that maybe we spike up a little bit more with XRP into 2.22 and 2.2. But I do think from there we'll pull back into 2.17, 2.14, and that will just remain relatively stable before getting a move into this level here at 2.25 and 2.28. Either after that small flush to the downside to fill those imbalances across the market, or if we get some fundamental de-escalation, right? Because it works both ways, the fundamentals. That if there's good news, we can also expect a move up instead of just a move down with bad news. But those are my thoughts for now. I think that's what you need to know. So if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, take care, have a great week, and I'll see you all in my next videos. Bye.